my kitchen. Today we're going to make peanut butter oatmeal round cookies. I like to make cookies and they freeze really well too, so it's nice. You can just pop them out of the freezer and bake them and have fresh cookies whenever you want to. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I've got my stand mixer with the paddle attachment, and we're going to get 1.5 cups of butter into our mixer. And I've had this butter sitting out at room temperature overnight, so it'll be softened and ready to go. The recipe is from this cookbook, Better Homes and Gardens new cookbook. I'm preheating my oven to 375 degrees. I've got 1 cup of brown sugar here. I'm doubling the recipe. I always like to double the cookie recipes. If you're making cookies anyways, you might as well double. All right, and we're gonna get 2 cups of sugar, regular sugar. These are Chad's favorite cookies. We're going to go ahead and cream those 2 together. We're going to get our peanut butter in here. I've got 1 cup of peanut butter. I have the natural peanut butter. It likes to separate a little bit, but so 1 cup of peanut butter. The recipe doesn't call for it, but I'm just going to put a pinch of salt in, just a little tiny pinch. And 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. If you don't have a stand mixer, I've made these cookies many times without a stand mixer, just by hand, and it does really well. I've got 4 eggs. I'm going to do 2 and then put the other 2 in. I am going to scrape down the sides a little bit this time to make sure everything on the bottom and sides is getting mixed in. And now we'll get our last 2 eggs in. We're going to put 2 teaspoons of vanilla. flour. We need 4 cups of oats. If I can get this jar open. There we go. Let's see. This is a 2-cup measuring cup. The mixer's getting full. Okay, that looks good. And the recipe calls for 1 cup of chopped peanuts or semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'm going to put semi-sweet chocolate chips and also some raisins. So instead of nuts, my family doesn't really care for nuts. I'm the only one who likes nuts in desserts. So I'm going to keep the nuts out and just put raisins and chocolate chips. So we're going to put 1 cup of chocolate chips and 1 cup of raisins. I'm going to put the raisins here. Now we're going to give it a mix. Ooh, it's really full. Stuff some of this down in there. I've got 2 cookie sheets here and 2 pieces of parchment paper. And I've got a small cookie scoop here. My oven is ready now. It's preheated to 375, and we're going to go ahead and get these in for about 10 minutes. When I'm going to freeze the cookies, I like to put them really close together on a cookie sheet that's lined with parchment paper, and then I flash freeze them, and once they're frozen, then I'll pop them into a freezer bag, and then you can just pull out how many cookies you want to make at a time, and you can bake them straight from frozen and just add a couple minutes of cook time. So you would heat the oven to 375 and then cook it for the cookies for about 12 to 14 minutes and just until they're golden brown. And it works perfectly. So I'm gonna get this. You can fit a lot of the cookies on a cookie sheet when you're going to freeze them, flash freeze them. So I'm putting them really close together. I'm baking some cookies for a children's church for the kids tonight, and I made a lot extra so that I can have some in the freezer for my family or an emergency dessert. Here's our cookies for the freezer. Our timer just went off for our cookies. Let's see. I think I'm going to give them a couple more minutes. They look a little soft. Our timer just went off. So these baked for 12 minutes. Those look good, nice and golden brown. And we're gonna go ahead and pop our other sheet in for 12 minutes. And then we're gonna get these onto a cooling rack. And then we'll get some more onto our cookie sheet. Here's our cookies. They look so good. Now let's taste them. They're so delicious. They're crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside. They're really, really good. Nothing better than freshly baked cookies, right? Thank you all for hanging out with me today and baking cookies. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.